Hello ladies and gentlemen, MDfashionco Collectibles here, and today I'm training at point defense. We training, what's the best strats? I'll get into the strat that we use here to beat this intense game, because this is how I think we should learn how to beat point defense. We should learn it on an easier mode, right? Just like lifting weights. I'm gonna get into it, but first, roll the U. Look at how pro I am with the shotgun. He had a dream to play Aliens Fire Team. He collects themes. He's got high self-esteem. He's credible. He's unforgettable. He's commendable. He's MDfashionco Collectibles. Okay? So look, the strat is we need a gunner. I think honestly after this we're gonna try 3 gunners, because and also I'm hosting, so you see how well I'm playing at the beginning of this. I'm just hip firing, using the accuracy of that shotgun, flick firing, just destroying these boys. I think this is possible with 3 gunners. I think 3 gunners is the way to go, but right now we're just playing tech, demo, gunner, just trying things out. So Dead Tajon had the idea. We use no consumables on the first wave. I think that's pretty evident. I think we should only use 3. No consumables on the first wave. Then the second wave, we only use consumables we have bought from the shop. Then the third wave, we use all the consumables. Now, what's important here is the consumables we use, the MVPs, are the hardened incendiary turrets and the hardened electroshock turrets. Those are the only consumables we should be buying. And I know these boys was stubborn as heck trying to buy cryo grids. No, cryo grids are pointless, boy. If you're running around properly, you should not be getting hit by stuff. So cryo grids are pointless, and that's just how I feel in this. Like, because they don't help defend the point, and they don't do any damage, right? Cryo grids are incredibly useful when you can choke point these Xenos. But when you can't, which in this case you can't, you just have to kill them, otherwise they will kill you. And it's not because they will kill you because they're going to get to you, they're going to kill you because they're going to kill the point. So based on my logic, I think the best consumables are hardened incendiary turrets, followed by hardened electroshock turrets. The electroshock turrets are worse than the incendiary turrets because the incendiary turrets simply do more damage, and you can leave them alone, right? For longer. So I buy 3 hardened incendiary turrets, I buy nothing else because I'm saving up for the third wave. So this is how we're going to get this strat going. And by implementing the strat on intense, then we can move up then to extreme and implement the exact same strategy. And that is the cause that I am thinking of doing, because it's important that we train on things that are easy. When you go to the gym, you are gonna hurt yourself if you just go and lift something 3 times as heavy that you could lift. You can only do 1 rep of it, right? 1 rep. And that's essentially what we're doing. We're banging our head on 1 rep, right? We need to understand the game mode all the way. To use the working out analogy, we need to understand the full movement, right? The full movement, we're going all the way, so we know that we're, and we need to do that by using lightweight. And this this intense mode, you see how I'm learning how to deal with this big one, right? At the beginning of wave 2, I learned how to deal with that. So it is going to be harder on extreme, but now we know this is the strat. And I have time to focus on this and be like, okay, A's going down. I'm gonna just run to A, deal with it right quick. We got a boy at B because we dropped all our turrets at B, and it's lit. So the boy just sits at B, right, with all the turrets while we move from A to C, getting them back up. I mean, it makes total sense to me. The issue is that boy Gamma go down. So you really can't afford to go down in this game mode.
One time I didn't background grid.
And I popped the drone at actually the perfect time, but I think I did it maybe a bit too late. but at 90 seconds, I popped it at the exact perfect time, which is, I think, I mean, that makes sense, right? Because I have 3 drones and I'm going to use the last 2 on the last wave, right? So it would make sense to use one in the second half of wave 2. So, see, now I'm creating a strategy for these boys, right? This is a strategy, and we're not just going in and winging it. We all individually have to be good at the game. There's no getting around that. But we also need to be playing the strategy perfectly. This needs to be there needs to be no excuses for playing something that is not the strategy, right? And maybe you're trying something new, but we need to test what works. And what works, I believe, is this turret strategy. And even look at Cold Iron. If you look at the equipment bench, the hardened turrets are at the top. So this is, see, what I'm doing here is something I could not do in Extreme. But granted, I am moving around very fast because my gunner build increases move speed. And yeah, so now I'm focused just on clearing A and getting A back up. This is my main focus. And I think I'm asking these boys for help right now. Because B is fine, but there's 2 boys at B and we put all our turrets at B. So there ain't no point 2 boys being there. And the fact of the matter is, when I was playing with these boys, and I ain't dissing on a boy, I'm just calling the facts what it is. My damage was always double what these boys was doing. And that is simply inexcusable. The fact of the matter is we should all be doing comparable damage. And I granted, I am the gunner, right? The issue is, when they were hosting and I was lagging, I was playing tech. And I was still doing double the damage. Not even getting close. So, you know, we have to focus on damage. This, and I know I've said this so many times and I've been wrong so many times, right? I've said, you know, Horde mode is a mode about damage. And boys said, no, it's a mode about survivability. And they were right in that. But I think I'm pretty right in saying that this is about damage. Because it's set up a position where you can't hold anywhere, right? And you can't kite anywhere. Because they're just going to go for an objective that is not you. So right now we are literally dropping every single sentry turret, and this worked really, really well for the final wave because we had one guy sitting on B 24/7, just making sure B was good, and then he could move to A and C, right, when B has absolutely nothing, but his main thing is to hold B, and he could hold off a heavy, right, an elite, because there were so many turrets at B. And then it's the other 2 boys' job to deal with A and C, right? And that's what we're doing. So us 2 at A, and then I run to C just because A seems alright.
No, one person B, because, right, the rest go A and
Yep, and then so these boys run to B, and I think that's a bad idea because it's like, you should be running to C because B is going to be fine. There are literally 30 turrets at C. At B, I mean. We need to run to C. So I run to C instinctively, and then I see the Xenos here, and so I start clearing it out by myself. And this is the point where I thought it would be good to play 3 gunners on this, because 3 gunners are able to run around this fast, right? Like, and do what I'm doing, right? Just hold off all this stuff. Granted, we are playing on intense, so it's a lot easier, right? But it's still possible to do this kind of stuff that I'm doing right now. Now, see, I'm just focusing on this crusher, but I realize that C is down. Because the elite came to C, we have to move it to A, which is the right thing to do, because then there's another teammate there.
C is down.
And right now I'm running out of ammo, so this is where I'm thinking the recon could work. So recon gunner maybe at the higher difficulties it seems very, very damn difficult because you have to run to the ammo box, which means leaving the point. So I don't know. That's gonna be so difficult. We're gonna have to figure that out. But yeah, I popped the drone too late again. So this is a misplay. And again, I had a strategy. yet I did not stick to it. And that is simply unacceptable because we have to stick to the plan. And play as good as we can, and you make mistakes when you're playing, and yes and no, but as far as the strategy, the predetermined strategy, you should be focusing that and doing that the entire time. You know, this is Aliens, boy. This ain't, you know, time to mess around. In the film Aliens, it's about going beast mode.
See, this is working very well.
So see, B is totally fine. Even though there's a surge, right, at B, they're taking no damage, and I think there's one boy there. And the reason there's one boy there is because...
And then the other two just focus on.
Yeah, the reason there's one boy there is because there's a bunch of turrets there. Look, that guy, Dejan's just running around between A and C. And we had a bit of a lull here, now that I think about it, which will be very much appreciated. But then at the end, they just jumped C. So these two boys, in hindsight, should have just come to C. And maybe that's it. Again, we're learning the game. So maybe what happens at the end of... maybe what happens at the end of these waves is they all just dump... At the end of the third wave, they all just dump on one point. See, this is stuff we got to learn. And we would not have known this, right? Unless we played intense till we know the game mode inside out. Just like when we played Insane Horde mode. We knew the game mode inside out, for real. Again, I find myself in the same situation where I have to deal with a heavy by myself. And these boys, I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, there was a bit of a lack of communication here because I was at C by myself taking on hell. But again, it's a lack of communication due to... Yeah, and see, they prioritize that.
Come on, it's not gonna happen.
So it was a lack of communication due to...
So does it still count?
Due to the lack of game knowledge, and we just have to keep playing and get better. So, point defense, ladies and gentlemen. What do y'all boys think of the strategy? Next thing I'm going to try is 3 gunners. Let's see how that goes. Stay tuned. And I'm going to see y'all boys later. Let's look at the stats at the end if I was still recording to show it. But the fact of the matter is, of course I do double damage over boys. And I love playing with pros who I play with that do more damage than me. I love playing with it. We got to get them boys and finish this for real. Let's check out the performance here. I go to the performance. Look at that damage. Way, way more. I'll see you boys later. Bye.
All y'all turn up right now.
If you join the Patreon for $2.50 a month, you get a shout out on the videos and get to go to the Discord channel with the pros. Boys can't comment in or can't chat in unless they part of the Patreon thing. So look down below for the link and tell me what you think, boy.